So if you understand that and know that, you can change all of these factors, your stress, your environment, your lifestyle. You can change all of those and it will change how your genes are expressed. Okay? You understand that, Rebel?
I certainly do. I
Yeah.
definitely do.
Yeah, it's not so, stop blaming it on your genes, stop blaming it on your mom or your grandmother or whatever. Now, there's certain characteristics like how tall you are and color your hair and how your nose is shaped and how your eyes are positioned. Those are some genetic factors that have developed over thousands of years. So, okay, so those are certain, so that's that 10 or 15% that you can't control, but the other you can control. All right. So myth number two. Now, if you're watching this, you probably already understand that this is a myth. All right. That if you are sick, that you need to take more pills. Well, we know that the only thing that does is just suppress the symptoms. And that is to me, that's the goal of the pharmaceutical industry. They want to suppress the symptoms for 24 hours so that you need the pill the next day. Okay, or they want to suppress it for 3 months. Now they're doing some of these longer acting pills because they know it's hard for people to do something every day. So what they do is they make it where it's every 2 months or 3 months, but there's a limit to how long they can suppress the symptoms. Now, if we have a better approach that, hey, what is causing my natural state of health to be out of balance? Okay, something is disrupting this natural flow because, you know, you look at trees and things, they grow and it's uninterrupted. Okay, so my natural state is to grow and expand. What's making me contract? What's making me not have energy? So there's something going on, and if we can get that back in line, we are going to not have to take something every day. We're back in balance now, and then we can go on and live a more fulfilling life. All right. This is probably the number one reason why people come and see me in the office is fatigue. Okay. So some people say it's just a part of being old. And I was believing that for a while. But when I got this spark of, hey, I'm going to learn how to be ageless and I'm going to teach other people that, I'm going to learn what the mysteries and the keys to having a fulfilling life, to live life to the fullest, to live it more abundantly. And once I started thinking like that, all of a sudden I got more energy. I'll tell you the other thing that happened is that I started remembering what my dad was reciting every Sunday, that First Corinthians 13th chapter, when it said faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. Now, this is, this gets into all of the spirit stuff, but the spirit of love is the spirit of God. And that is the spirit of quantum physics. Now, again, I don't want to take you too far too fast because this is a lot for me to digest. And if I tell somebody else or try and explain it to somebody else, it helps me to understand it better. Okay. So when you do things out of love, you have extra strength. Okay. It's just like the mother who can lift a car up because they love their child so much that they have this superhuman strength because they're doing it from a basis of love. If you do things out of obligation or you do things out of resentment, you have no energy. It depletes you. But if you do things because you love what you're doing, it gives you energy. I love this. I get I get energy when I think about what I'm going to do in the podcast. I get energy when I think about developing this school group because I think it's going to have an impact on people and help them get reattached to their spirit. And then that's where their purpose grows and it expands. People were asking me if I was going to retire, and I was like, what are you talking about? This is my time to really expand. I've had all of these experiences. I've gone from being a student, from being a doctor, from being a holistic doctor, from being a speaker, from being, and now I'm moving into being a healer. And also, I'll tell you, the other time I got that spark was when we wrote our 2 books, Are Your Hormones Making You Sick? And The Stress Connection. When I was writing those books, it was just like I am now. I wake up every morning at 5 o'clock. I can't wait to turn my computer on to figure out how I am going to learn something and how I'm going to reconnect myself to my spirit and my purpose. And I put out this information, and I tell you, it doesn't. I should have turned my phone off. I'm sorry. Yeah. So let me turn my phone off. That's usually what I do, but I didn't do it today. All right. So let's go to this. All right. So energy crisis from metabolic dysfunction. Yeah, you're exhausted because something's not working right in your system. Okay. So low energy is not just a part of getting older. Hormone balance restores youthful vitality. And one thing is the female hormones or male hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. But another hormone is cortisol. And cortisol is your stress hormone. And when you are under for an extended period of time, stress, that cortisol hormone either gets too high or it gets too low. And that's probably one of the major problems that I see with fatigue, is that they've been under stress for so long and that cortisol has been high, and then it rebounds. And instead of going back to normal, it actually goes below normal. And then, so even though the stress is over, your fatigue is still there. So when you go through these multiple stressful events, it accumulates. And if you don't do something to try and repair that, to increase your energy, you're going to have a problem. So you need more rest and recovery. More rest and recovery is expected. Well, cellular health equals boundless energy. So how do you fix that cortisol? You've been through a stressful period, and we talked about that last time. You have to repair the damage caused by the stress. And to restore that cortisol curve, you need vitamin C, B5, B6, and you need NAD. And you can look up NAD, but NAD is a form of niacin, and that is the major ingredient in increasing energy. And that's depleted with age, and it's depleted with stress. So you can do it by getting NAD either orally or through an IV, or you have to restore it with those vitamins and minerals with what you eat. All right. Memory decline and brain fog come with aging. Well, the truth is that mitochondrial function, there's this energy power source in each cell called the mitochondria. And that's what's damaged by toxins, is what's damaged by poor rest and recovery. And there's ways to get that kick-started. One, you have to get the gunk out of the engine. So it's just like, a car engine. If you start to build up all of this gunk, the pistons, they slow down. Okay. So in this mitochondria, you got to get rid of the environmental toxins, the processed food, and even the bad negative thoughts actually decrease or disrupt mitochondrial function. So you have to restore that energy, because your brain and your heart uses the most energy 24/7. It's working. All right. So you have to have this basic source of energy. And when your energy is depleted, your brain's not going to be able to make those connections as fast. It's just like a computer. When it gets too much information, it doesn't have enough memory, it just slows down. It starts to spin. And a lot of times we think our brains spin like that because we don't have enough memory stored. So by building up your adrenal glands and restoring that cortisol, it rebuilds your energy levels. And we see it all the time. We have something IV in our office called a super energy IV that has all of those ingredients in it. And we see it change cortisol curves, and we see that it changes the energy level of our patients. So once you understand physiology and you go back to the basics, you can solve a lot of these mysteries or problems. Okay. So aches and pains slow you down naturally. Well, what's slowing you down and what's giving you the aches and pains is inflammation. And inflammation can be caused by foods that you eat. Inflammation can be caused by things in the environment. Inflammation can be caused by, things that you're exposed to. Okay. So you want to be able to decrease inflammation. And there's tests you can do called C-reactive protein that will tell you the amount of inflammation that you have. You can also do thermograms, and thermograms look at heat changes at the body. It's like what you see for night vision, is looking at heat. And so inflammation causes heat. So you can do a thermogram and you can look at heat in any part of the body. And you can do things to decrease inflammation, like anti-inflammatory foods, helping the bowels to eliminate toxins better, avoiding having constipation, where your body can reabsorb toxins. So you want to always have good gut health to make sure that your inflammatory processes are diminished. Okay.